here today as a guest at Mount Abe to see what is a fantastic initiative. This morning kicked off with the mock crash, which was an incredible event and a great way to start this whole day of all of the various activities.
A full day where all the other academics have suspended says volumes for this community. The EMTs are here, and the law enforcement is here, and safety experts are here, because that's really important too, to understand it's all the pie, not one piece that makes a difference when we talk about education and changing behaviors.
For just the town of Bristol, we respond to annually on an average of 30 to 35 motor vehicle crashes. That moment impacts everyone, those responders that are there, obviously the people who are affected by the crash, family.
From a first responder's perspective, it's hard. I went to a scene where they were Mount Abe students when I was working on rescue, and one had died. And to detach from that association and still be able to do what I need to do to help the other students that were still alive, you have to do that. And then you have to figure out how to process with it later, after the fact.
My brother was in a car crash like that when he was in high school, and I remember it quite well. Like my mom getting the call, and it was very scary at first, and then being in it today, it helped me.
For me, it really makes it important to offer these events because we have such large events that get associated with drinking and celebrating, such as prom and graduation, and to be able to help educate students ahead of time as to something that may happen if they decide to partake in that, or just offering opportunities as an alternative to celebrate that are safer. I think that's important for the school to be able to do for their students.
I have a 16-year-old daughter with a driver's license and a cell phone, so why wouldn't I do something like this just to show her and her friends what the possibilities are if they don't do the right thing?
We did a study a long time ago in the early 80s. I looked at 7th graders and I asked them some questions. How do you stop at a stop sign? How do you go through a light? If it's yellow, do you stop or do you go? And I just said, what do you think should happen? And then I interviewed their parents. And 90% of the responses kids have was exactly what their parents did. So if they ran a yellow light on an intersection rather than slowing down, if they didn't stop completely at a stop sign, if they went 10 miles or 5 miles over the speed limit, that was the behavior the 7th graders thought they should do. That's why I'd like to see bicycle safety and pedestrian safety, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, and then more safety education in the middle level. So when they get to driver's ed, it's not about wearing seatbelts, they get that already. It's more about the technical aspects of driving and understanding the rules and understanding other parts.
When we're driving, there's a potential for a lot of things to happen. The new students who are driving don't really know that. They've never experienced it, hopefully, and so having an event like this just gives them a safer environment to get an idea of what may happen to them out on the road. The mock crash is a powerful event in itself. I find that a lot of students are very visual. I can tell them that that's bad. I can say, oh, you're gonna see a fender and this and that. But when they can see it and they can hear the sounds and the screaming and so forth, and then all of a sudden it draws them in a little bit more and it's a little bit more realistic to them.
The element you really can't add to a scenario like this is, where do crashes occur? They occur on the roadway. It could be at nighttime on a back dirt road. It's dark. There's no lighting. Trucks are running. Lights are going. There's spotlights everywhere. And hearing all those noises, they know they can't move and get out of that vehicle. What are they going through?
We improvise and adapt to what's there, and it's never this wide open, and it's never this many people. So we have to figure out what we need to do, how we need to do it in the quickest way possible.
The mock crash was really important for setting in that big impact. Like, you've seen what can happen if you're distracted driving and stuff like that. And then the rest of the day is teaching you how to prevent that scene from happening.
The important thing is to make it relative and exciting enough for students to be drawn in. Because if it's just a lecture or there's just somebody talking, they will typically check out. But working to really with your presenters to make sure that what they're presenting is relevant, having a strong student leadership group in the school working in tandem with the faculty or with the staff to organize this is important.
Teenagers are amazing people, and they have so much energy and so much creativity and thinking outside the box in ways that sometimes as we get older we're not as good at. So involving them in planning is just so wonderful.
We discussed that we wanted anti-texting, safe driving, anti-alcohol, self-defense, first aid. We picked all the things that we felt were most important to keeping teenagers safe that would also be entertaining for them.
One of the nice things that I think about doing a big event like this is that it really gets everybody thinking about safety, and we've gone beyond road safety, although that's a huge part of it. Just having every single person in the building focused on safety at the same time, and having so many community members who are aware that we're doing this, and parents, and folks it's just going to generate a lot of talk about these issues more than a single event would have. The more people take on the responsibility voluntarily to provide safety information and to teach each other safety skills and how to make better choices, the better off we are. I feel like it's just something I should do as a responsible community member, and I think everyone who's jumped on board with this has had that same feeling. If you have parents, you have school, you have your local businesses, if everyone is giving that same message, then I think it's going to be heard.
Our students get this free, very few other states that's true for, because safety shouldn't be economics. Safety should be for everybody who wants to get a license, regardless if they can afford a class or not. I think each school needs to look at this, maybe a thing where they do it 2 hours every day for a week, so they don't give up a whole day. And one day they're working on traffic safety, one day they're working on personal safety. Each school needs to look at, how do I want to accomplish the objective to teach our kids about safety? We have to get the word out. And the 3 E's, engineering, enforcement, education, we have to work together, because it doesn't work if you don't.
The commitment from the school to suspend classes for a day and focus entirely on this augmentation is great. And I'm really proud that our school's able to do that and has that dedication to students. Even if this whole activity, the whole day, one student makes a better choice, then it was well worth it.